This is a video to my younger self. My younger self used to look himself in the mirror and say, I wonder what I'm going to look like when I'm in my 30s and 40s. Well, I'm 33 years old now, and I would like to talk to my younger self and tell him, little Teddy, what it's like to be an adult. Because eventually you get to a point in life and you're like, damn, this is the age my parents were at when they had me. And I looked up to them and said, wow, they're an adult, they got it all figured out. And now I'm that age. And do I have it all figured out? Sometimes I like to think so. But being an adult is more like, you're just trying to. It's a really good question. What is it like to be an adult? Everyone has a different answer, but I'd say it's trying to you're trying not to, first and foremost, you're trying not to die. Trying to stay alive. When I was a kid, I never thought about trying to stay alive. As an adult, I probably think about staying alive a lot more than I think about staying alive when I was a kid. When I was a kid, it never even crossed my mind to stay alive. I just lived. But now I'm an adult, I'm like, I should probably stay alive. So, being an adult, I'm more cautious about things. Being an adult, money is more interesting. When I was a kid, I couldn't give a crap about money. It didn't really interest me at all. Money is more interesting. Women are more interesting. They were always kind of interesting, but women are more interesting now. And as an adult, as an adult, at least in my situation as an adult, I can compare myself with other adults, and I can be like, oh, they're living life like that. That's kind of cool. I might consider that. Or they're living life like that. I would never want to live life like that. So as an adult now, I'm more judgmental of how people are living, not in a negatively judgmental way, but just like I'm aware of how other people are living, and I'm seeing how everyone lives as options. So like when I was a kid, I just thought like, oh, he lives up the street, that's just how he lives. Or oh, he lives in America, that's just how he lives. Now I'm like, oh, he lives up the street, maybe I should live up the street. Or oh, he lives in America, maybe I should move to America. Or oh wow, she lives in a van, maybe I should live in a van. Or wow, this guy lives out of Airbnbs, maybe I should live out of Airbnbs. Or this person moved to Dubai to save on taxes, maybe I should move to Dubai to save on taxes. Like just seeing how other people live as options for how I could be living is also something that I think about as an adult that I once did not think about. My health is another thing I think about as an adult. As an adult, at least again in my reality of being an adult, health is very important. So I pay attention to the supplements I take, the fruit I eat, the water I drink, the time I go to bed. That's an adult thing for sure. I couldn't give a crap about my bedtime when I was a kid. In fact, the later the better. I just wanted to have fun all the time. Now I'm like, oh, it's 7:30. We're almost ready for bed. 8 o'clock's coming up. Gotta get to bed. So that's another thing about being an adult. I guess as an adult too. And the more I make this video, the more I realize like every adult is gonna have a different experience. But I guess as an adult too, there's this pressure. There's a societal pressure. Some people have like a familial pressure. I don't really have this familial pressure, but there's definitely like a societal pressure. And this may be waning as years go on, but there's definitely a societal expectation that as an adult, you should probably have a wife and kids. You should probably have one wife and at least one kid. But the longer I remain an adult, the more I realize that's just a choice. That's just a choice. And this framework, this nuclear family, as they call it, this nuclear family framework of having a wife and at least a kid, it's a modern day framework. Like if you rewind 400 years or 4,000 years, you may have seen a dude with a chick and a kid or two in this nuclear family, but it wasn't really like that. It's a very modern invention, having a wife and a kid or two. And then, being together until death do you part. It's a beautiful concept. It's a beautiful relationship formula to experience. I would presume, I'm not speaking from experience, I don't have a wife or kids, but I've had many girlfriends, and I've considered turning them into my wives. I've considered having children with them, and I've been close at times to making that happen. And let's just say, as a 33-year-old adult right now, I'm very happy to be single. I'm happy to be single. Because a lot of people, they just go from one relationship to the other. And they're just going one relationship to the other. And some people at my age, they've got multiple kids with multiple people. Some women have multiple kids with no people. It's just them. So as an adult, not from my experience, but from seeing other people's experience, as an adult, you have a high chance of having a child that you have to look after now. I've got a lot of friends who have kids. And I've got a lot of friends with no kids. And I guess the biggest difference between the friends with kids and the friends without kids is, at least this is my perspective, it could be completely different. I haven't really sat down and interviewed everybody about this, but from my perspective, the friends I have with no kids, they seem to travel a lot more. They seem to be much more just like, screw it, let's do it and go anywhere, anytime. Whereas the people with kids, there's a lot more planning involved. Like, I gotta find a babysitter, or maybe my wife can stay back, or maybe my husband can stay back, or maybe I can give the kids to my grandparents, I'm not sure, or the kids to my parents, I'm not sure. Like, they can't make quick travel decisions, or maybe they can, but they just don't, because they consider many more things. So that's interesting. What else is it like to be an adult? Oh, injuries and pains. Yeah, when I was a kid, man, I was bulletproof. You could push me over and I'd fall and tumble and I'd be fine. Now when I fall, I'm like, fuck, that hurt. It's gonna take maybe a week or two to recover. In fact, I fell like 3 years ago on my wrist, very hard fall on my wrist, and it still hurts. That was a very, very hard fall. Like, all my weight on my wrist in a really bad position, like bam. Very, very painful. Still hurts. I don't know if that'll ever recover. Whereas a kid, dude, that's gone in a week at the most. So that's interesting. As a kid too, I think everything in life felt possible. Like, I had no limitations. I had no limiting beliefs. As an adult, you start to form a lot of limiting beliefs. Like, you're like, well, I've never seen that, so it can't be possible. And I've been alive for 33 years. Or like, well, I've never done it in 33 years, so it's probably not possible. Or I've never heard of that before, so it's probably not possible. Whereas when you're a kid, you haven't heard much at all anyway. You don't have much experience. You haven't seen many other people do anything. So like, anything's possible. And that's why I guess it's easy to believe in Santa Claus. So when you're a kid, you're extremely, you believe everything. And as an adult, you believe less and less stuff. And I guess that's why there are these people called grumpy old men. Because they just get old and grumpy and like, yeah, I know everything and everything sucks. But when you're a kid, you don't know much, and so everything is potentially awesome. So that's interesting. Difference between being an adult and being a kid. What else? When I was a kid, yeah, the injury thing is interesting, man. I could just go all the time. And there was never any like niggles or like pains. And now as an adult, man, I was like, I'm dealing with at least one thing. It's either like a neck thing or an elbow thing or a knee thing or a hamstring thing, or like something's going on. And it's not completely debilitating. I just ran a 5K a couple days ago. Probably just did 250 squats today. Gonna run another 5K this weekend. So I'm still athletic, but I definitely don't have that complete loose, push me over and I'll tumble down the hill kind of resilience that I used to have. The other difference as an adult is you're way smarter. You're way smarter. I'm way smarter as an adult. When I was a kid, you're just ignorant and you think you know a lot of stuff, I guess, but you really don't. And growing up, my dad was like the smartest guy I knew. I was like, my dad is so smart. He's got answers to everything. And he is a smart guy, for sure. I've met a lot of guys his age. Met a lot of guys Of all ages, my dad's probably, out of all the people I've ever met, my dad's probably top 10, if not, yeah, I'd say top 10 smartest guys I know. Like, I would ask him, if I had a question about something that's like kind of weird, I'm not sure how to solve it, he'd be someone I'd consider calling. Like, how would you approach this? What would you do? He's very smart and strategical in a lot of ways. But growing up, again, I was just like this little boy. I didn't know anything. So my dad would keep coming up with these solutions that were like genius to me. And now that I'm older, my dad is definitely, he seems like a lot less smart than he used to. Not because he's any dumber, it's just because I'm a lot smarter. So the knowledge gap is shrunk. And now I'm like definitely smarter than him in certain areas of life just because I have way more experience than him. But that's interesting. You just become way smarter as an adult. And again, that probably goes into that conversation of things are less magical as an adult as well, just because you know more stuff, you just know how more stuff works. And as a kid, I felt everything had some magic to it. Almost everything was possible. But as a magician, you know that it's not really magic, it's just how the thing works. It's just how it works. It's like when you know how the magic trick works, it kind of takes away the magic. And as life goes on, you just start learning how more and more stuff works, and so it becomes less magical and just more, that's just physics. That's just the law of the universe. So that's interesting. Another thing about being an adult. Oh, this is interesting. I think about this often. Little kids. This is a message for all little kids out there. Maybe if you got little kids watching, you don't want them to watch this, mute the video or don't watch this around them. But little kids, you don't have to listen to your parents. You do it because you're scared. You do it because you're scared that they're gonna punish you in some way. They're gonna lock you in your room, or they're not gonna feed you or something. They're not gonna let you go play with your friends or whatever. It's like, but the truth is, as a little kid, you could fuck shit up. Like, you don't have to listen to your parents. Looking back, it's like I was a really good boy. I was a really good kid growing up. I listened to my parents for the most part. I rarely disobeyed. I got in trouble a lot for doing stuff that I thought was like, pretty basic or whatever, but I got in shit a lot. I was disciplined heavily by both mom and dad, but mostly dad. But looking back, I was like, I could have gotten away with so much more shit. I could have gotten away with so much more stuff. And like, the only reason kids listen to the parents is because they're scared. But then what are the parents gonna do? The parents aren't gonna freaking, well, they're probably, hopefully, not gonna beat the child. It's usually just like verbal threats or just like, yelling. And it reminds me of when you see like a dog, like a mom dog have baby pups, and the baby pups like misbehave. The mom dog just barks at the little baby, like bark, 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 and it scares the little baby puppy, and the puppy like starts to behave better because the mom just like threatened the baby with her barks. But what's the mom gonna do? Yeah, the mom has physical power over the baby. Mom's probably not going to use physical power on the baby pup, but the pup feels that fear anyway. It's like instinctive fear. And that's the same with humans. It's like your mom and your dad's probably not going to beat you, hopefully. If they do, call the cops. But you're just scared as a kid. I was just very scared. Like, oh, what's dad going to do? What's mom going to do? Like, thinking back, what's the worst thing my dad and mom ever actually did to me? I think maybe once my dad and mom spanked me. I think it was my mom. She spanked me with like a big blue spoon, maybe a couple times. I got spanked, but how hard does that really hurt? A little bit. Dad never touched us. He'd like throw stuff, he'd like break stuff though. So he'd like take stuff and just throw it and break it. And he wouldn't break anything that I had, but he would just throw and break stuff out of anger, and that was like really scary. Like, damn, what if that hit me? He wasn't aiming at us, but my sister and I, but he threw it. But yeah, as a kid, you're just scared of authority for sure. Now, authority, I'm way less scared of authority. As an adult, I'm way less scared of authority. I'm way less scared of like bullies. I'm way less scared of like the boogeyman. Like I used to, as a little kid, I could get myself if I was ever home alone, I would be so scared, and I could get myself very scared. I could just like, if I was home alone and I just looked at that door, I could just imagine somebody breaking into that door. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I could just build up this fear in me. Just with imagination. And I remember do you remember going downstairs and it's dark? Like going downstairs, when it was dark, I'd go downstairs and I would turn the lights on and I would grab the thing and then I would quickly turn the lights off and then run upstairs as fast as I could because I was so scared. As an adult, you're not really like that. As an adult, you can walk through a dark house, you're not scary, you're not scared like that because again, you know how things work. When you're a little kid, you don't really understand how things work. You think a bad guy's just magically gonna appear in the basement. Whereas an adult, you're like, okay, well the door's been locked all day. There's no way anyone's down there. Therefore, we're good to go. Just quick logic. But when you're in that emotional state as a kid, yeah, it's scary. Going downstairs, oh my god, I'm so scared. So, yeah, just scared of less shit now. Also, as a kid, you don't know how to do anything like legally. Like you don't know how to get a driver's license. You don't know how to buy a plane ticket, or you don't know how to get a passport, or you don't know how to file taxes. You don't know how to get car insurance. You don't know how to do legal stuff. But as an adult, as much as that stuff is a pain in the ass, once you do those things once or twice, you're good to go. Just a message to my younger self is dude, adults don't even know how to do that stuff. You just gotta kind of grind through it like you would a homework assignment, and you'll eventually figure it out, hopefully. But nobody likes to do it, but they try to make it as easy as possible because they need humans to do stuff. They need adults to do stuff. So, yeah, I guess on the final note I'll say is adults are just really, this is a fun way of looking at adults, by the way. I love to look at old people like this as well, really old people. Adults are just grown-up babies. We all need the same things. We all need shelter. We all need food. We all need sleep. We all need to pee and poo. We all need love and really want love. We all benefit from physical touch. We all benefit from getting outside. We all have the same, we all have the same, for the most part, inner physiology. We all benefit from eating fruit, and every other food has consequences, whether you're an adult or a baby. Fruit is the ultimate food. That doesn't change. But I guess the biggest difference between adults and babies, adults and little kids, is adults are just big babies. They're just big babies. And when you see adults like that, it makes you love them more a lot faster. So that's a message to my younger self about what it's like to be an adult. I should make a video now or next time asking my 50-year-old self what it's like to be 50 and kind of predicting and hypothesizing what it would be like to be 50. That's another video. Okay, peace, bye, adios. Thanks for watching.